In school, we all just accept that it's totally normal that we spend multiple years studying languages and then can't really speak them in the real world. If you've been struggling with language learning, then stick around because this video is going to flip everything you think you know about language learning on its head. I also don't want this video to be purely about criticism of the traditional method, so at the end, I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you if you actually want to reach conversational fluency in a given language. So it turns out that the actual traditional method of language learning that we still all use in school was developed by monks in the Middle Ages, and the point was to translate Latin scripts into either French or English. Latin is a super complicated language. It has 6 tenses, 4 conjugation classes, 3 moods, and 2 different voices. And that's all just for the verbs. The nouns are also split into 5 different declension classes and 6 different cases, which means that if you were a monk trying to translate ancient Latin scrolls into English or French, you would need multiple charts with all of these different classes, declension things, all of these cross-referenced each other, similar to how we tried to memorize conjugation in school. This explains why the monks prioritized memorizing charts and all of the grammatical rules because Latin was so complicated. But they were never supposed to speak it. It was a dead language even back then, and so the point was never to have a conversation in Latin. The problem is that in today's schooling, we still use this same method to try and teach Spanish, German, French, and all the other foreign languages we want to learn how to speak. The method we are using was not developed to teach us how to speak. It was developed to help us translate text. It's akin to spending 10 plus years memorizing a bunch of different basketball plays and then expecting yourself to just be able to step onto the court and dribble the ball really well. They're not the same thing at all. And trying to learn one by learning the other, it just doesn't translate. Now, I'm not blaming the monks. The monks created the exact perfect method for what they needed it to do back then in the Middle Ages. But it does not work today, and I have no idea why we are still using this in most schools. So, enough of the doom and gloom. What should you be doing instead if you actually want to learn how to speak a foreign language? Here are 3 tips that have helped me and many of my students to reach conversational fluency in Spanish. Tip number 1, always start by memorizing the sounds of a language. Now, by sounds, I don't necessarily mean memorizing the alphabet of the language. The alphabet might be the same as in English, but the sounds that are created will have different muscular movements associated with them that you don't want to confuse with the English muscular movements or your native tongue. Because if you do that, then you will have a very strong accent in your foreign language, and you won't be able to pick up all of the little details and nuances of what is being said to you out loud in that foreign language. Furthermore, if you don't start with the sounds, you can memorize thousands of words in a foreign language, but you won't actually be able to hear them when they're spoken to you out loud at a real pace by a native speaker. So what's the point? Tip number 2, forget grammar rules and instead focus on grammar tools. What do I mean by that? Well, tools are common sentence structures that pop up over and over again in a given language and can help you say most things that you need to. So for instance, instead of memorizing all of the ways to conjugate the verb querer, instead simply remember a few key phrases that use that word that then pop up multiple times in multiple different scenarios that you then know how to use. Not only is this easier to remember, but it is also immediately applicable so you can go out into the real world and begin speaking Spanish. Tip number 3, focus on muscle memory rather than memorization. Now, what do I mean by this? Muscle memory helps you embed the patterns of a language into your body so that it comes out automatically without you having to think about it. When you memorize a bunch of rules, however, you're gonna get stuck in your head trying to do the equivalent of like a math equation just to form a proper sentence. That's not what you want to happen. There you have it. Hope you got a lot of value out of this video. If you are very interested in learning how to speak Spanish, not just study it, but actually speak it, then hit like and subscribe for more tips like this coming in the future.